On April 23rd, 2026, a damaging EF-4 tornado struck the south side of Enid, Oklahoma. I went to this storm after documenting twin tornadoes further northeast in Bremen, Oklahoma, as they crossed I-35. I quickly left those storms as they began to get rain-wrapped and left towards Enid. I could tell that this storm was going to get going pretty quickly, but I didn't know how fast it would get going. I was lucky that I left my storm in time so that I could get this view driving up towards the southeast of Vance Air Force Base. The closer I got, I could see some intense motions going on, something that I typically would only see with very violent tornadoes. It was pretty clear that this storm was doing a lot of damage, but it wasn't quite clear if it was catching part of Enid or if it was skirting around the town. Part of Vance Air Force Base was hit, but mostly it skirted around the edge of town, where it did hit a few neighborhoods and did quite a bit of damage, including tossing some RVs and completely slabbing a few structures. This tornado was over a quarter of a mile wide and tracked for almost 10 miles. It got an EF-4 rating with wind speeds of over 180 miles an hour. As you can see right here, it's got very violent motion going on. As I get a little bit closer, you can see the mound out here on the horizon. That's actually the landfill on the southeast side of Enid. As it went over this landfill, you could see quite a few power flashes as it hit a few structures and some of the infrastructure there. One story that I found fascinating about this storm in the aftermath was that somebody was going to their office in Bartlesville, Oklahoma, which is over 100 miles to the east, the very next day, and they found a photo that was sitting up against their office. They asked their coworkers inside if somebody had dropped a photo outside, and nobody seemed to claim it. When inspecting the back of the photo, they found that it had the name of a drugstore located in Enid. Since the tornado had happened just the night before, they thought that they should check on Facebook. Sure enough, somebody noticed the family that was in the photo and did identify that they did live in Enid still. So it's kind of crazy that a photograph could fly over 100 miles just overnight. As you can see, this storm happened kind of later in the evening as the sun was setting. And by the very next morning, somebody's already finding debris over 100 miles east on the complete opposite part of the state. There were very few chaser videos of this tornado, but there was some amazing footage from those that were on the Air Force Base at the time. As the storm passed to their east, they had a much better backlit view of the tornado. As you can see here, from my view, it was fairly dark as the sun was more or less blocked out, and I also had storms that were coming up from my south. Considering this was a strong EF-4 tornado, we were very fortunate that there were no fatalities and only 10 injuries. There was some significant property damage that happened in the area, but it did miss the heart of town, so it spared a lot of the property as well. These storms did have a good amount of lead time in terms of warning, and people did heed those warnings and took shelter. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more content like this.